So I have these marigold plants that I just transplanted, and you can see that they are really tall. They're like 8 to 10 inches tall, and they have just one stem. So you want to prune them off so that they develop more stems, and the plant is bushier instead of getting taller. And then second thing is that whatever you trim off, you can actually make new plant from it. So that's what we are going to do. So first of all, I'm going to uh, cut it. So like I cut it here. So I cut it just below this node from where the leaves are growing, and this is the node from where the roots will grow. So I'm going to just remove these leaves, and now I have another planter here with uh, general potting soil mix. I'm going to just put it in there, and now from this more branches should grow. So I'm going to do, this one doesn't have that many nodes, so let's take this one. So again, just below the node, and I remove these leaves and I put it in here. So basically we are doing two things. One, we are trying to make our plants bushier, and second, we are trying to make more plants. So then I can take a cutting from here. While taking the cuttings, you have to make sure of two things. One, that the cutting should have at least two nodes, so that one node goes inside the soil, which will develop the roots eventually, and one node remains above the soil, which will have new leaves coming out of it. And the remaining plant should have at least one node and a couple of leaves, so that it keeps growing. If you didn't leave any leaves in the plant that was left over, then it may die. So I'm going to water it thoroughly. I have put 4 stems in here. I'm going to water them thoroughly and put them in a shaded area, and I'll keep misting it every day so that the atmosphere around it stays humid. And let's see how they grow, and hopefully these uh, will develop more shoots on the side, and the plants will become bushier. So after a day or two they kind of wilt, but then they uh, get the energy, and then they stand tall again. So don't be worried if you see them wilting in the first few days. So these cuttings were planted about a week ago, and you can see that they are wilting a little bit. And that's what happens, that initially they wilt a little bit, but then you keep them in shade and keep watering them, keep the rooting medium moist, and slowly they perk up. And these were the ones that we planted 3 weeks ago. And if you look at these, two of these, they don't have too many leaves. Whatever leaves were there, they kind of dried up. But these two are doing well. They have grown taller. So I want to see if they have grown roots, and if they have, I want to transplant them to a separate container. So one of the things you want to do is that whenever you want to check whether they have rooted or not, you want to pull on them a little bit. If there are no roots, they will come out easily because there is nothing stopping them. It's just straight stem. So if you pull on them, it should come out easily. But this is not coming out easily. Of course, I'm not putting too much pressure because I don't want the roots to break, if at all there were roots. But I'm trying to pull it, and it's not coming out easily. So I have a feeling that they have roots. Okay, now I want to start from these ones, because even if they didn't have roots and I pulled it out and they get damaged, that's fine. At least these are not damaged. So let me just try taking out this one. Okay, wow, look at this. this is perfect. So even though there are no leaves on the top, this is ready. So it's been only 3 weeks. So first week it will go like this, and now in 3 weeks, look at this. So now we have made, from each plant we have made another plant. And let me show you how the original plant looks. So this was one of the original plants. You can see that this is what we cut from here 3 weeks ago. You can see the cut part, and the bottom, from the bottom, 2 branches are growing in. So it is becoming bushier. That's what I wanted. I wanted to make the plant bushier. So that's what has happened, because instead of one stem growing, this one, 2 of them are growing now. And I have new plants. So now that means, all of them must have grown roots. So now I can transplant. So, I have my another planter, and in which I have, potting soil mix. I can just make a hole in it and just plant it there. Push it hard. And again, because we are transplanting them, we have disturbed them. So you want to keep them in shade for at least, let's say 1 week, or maybe 3-4 days, and then move it out in sun, because the marigolds like full sun. So we don't want to leave them in shade, because then they'll not have good flowers. Yeah. It has roots too. So same thing, just dig up a hole. Alternatively, you could have just taken the cutting and planted in separate planters. So then you didn't need to transplant it. Oh wow, this one has like really big root. Look at this. I'm not going to open it up because I don't want to disturb it. I'm already disturbing it. But I don't want to, remove the soil from the plant and disturb it more. So just make a hole, put it in, and fill it back in. So to summarize, you take the cutting should have at least 2 nodes, and the remaining part should have at least 1 node above the soil. And you plant the cuttings in regular potting soil mix, keep the soil moist and keep it in a shaded area. For first week, it will wilt, but then it will perk up again, and then in 3 to 4 weeks, it should develop roots. So, when you go out to the nursery and get a marigold plant, oh wow, look at these. So these have small roots, but these two, and you could tell, just from the way this plant has grown, this cutting has grown, you could tell that, these are doing really good. And I'm so glad. So whenever you get a marigold plant from nursery, you should prune it so that it is bushier like this. If you look at this, it's much bushier. And that way, the 2 branches are growing, so it will have, more flowers, and it will not grow too tall, and you will make new plants. So, you get one plant and you make many more plants from it. And I'm also going to do mulching here, because it's a hot summer. It's almost summer, and the weather is hot. So if you want, when I put these in hot sun, then I'm going to do mulching so that the water doesn't evaporate that much and the plant stays hydrated. So I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.